and welcome to our very first YouTube video.
Honestly, we're a bit nervous, but we're really excited.
We're Mel and Uri. We're from Barcelona. We got married back in 2023, and not long after that, we started one of the biggest projects of our lives.
We're renovating former train station high up in the French Pyrenees. We're specifically renovating the ground floor, which used to be a restaurant. We are still living in Barcelona, but want to turn this spot into our personal refuge, place to slow down, to disconnect and enjoy the landscape and just be in nature.
Definitely.
And because we filmed a lot during this past year,
Long before we ever planned to start a YouTube channel, today we wanted to show you with a few clips what was this past year for us with this renovation.
we can start with what we call the destroyer phase. Basically, removing everything. The old restaurant stuff, the equipment that was here before, the tiles, the walls, all the structures that were mounted here to make it able to be a restaurant. Well, we had to remove all of it because, we're turning it into a home.
And all of that, it became mountains of rubble that, well, then we had to go to Las Deschallerias. We toured the recycling centers in the area. They definitely know us by now because we've been many, many times.
But at least with the wood, we could make some nice bonfires, yeah?
Since the house sits at around 1,500 meters, winters here are no joke. So our first big mission after the whole destroyer phase was installation.
That meant that we had to remove the whole of the old ceiling, which was made of plasterboard with some wood.
Wooden sticks, yeah.
Yeah, and that meant a lot of work. We had to remove that ceiling because we wanted to insulate between the beam of the house with fiberglass wool. Well, it's quite a struggle. It itches everywhere. It's very time consuming to put it up.
Yeah, fiberglass everywhere and being a rolling scaffold from one side to the other, it was exhausting. It took us the whole summer, and we also definitely had time to have fun. After that intense summer, well, winter arrived, so we did a pause in the renovation.
Yeah, for a few months we stopped the work here. We put it on hold, but when spring came back, we were ready to continue.
Yeah, we moved onto the floors. There was a big area with tile flooring and then a small section with wooden floors. So we started with this wooden flooring part. We just lifted all of this wood to be able to, in the future, put insulation underneath it.
And then the other big decision was the tile section. Currently, the house had some really beautiful tiles and original from when it was built. So we wanted to keep them as much as possible. But the challenge here is that the floor, it's not insulated. So if you don't remove those tiles, then it means that you'll have some cold floors, which with the winters here could be quite challenging. So we decided to make a compromise and basically remove the old tiles in the sections that were gonna be like the rooms and bathrooms, but keep them in the common living areas, such as I don't know, like the kitchen, the living room,
The
the dining room,
yeah.
all of that, which will be a whole. It will be like a big area, but
Yes, a big open space.
some of the tiles in the section that we are keeping, well, there are tiles that are not as good and that may need restoring further down the line. So we decided to, when removing those tiles from the sections that we were gonna lift them up, remove them one at a time so that we could save as many as possible, to later on be able to use and restore the other part of the floor.
So this summer we were finally ready to build.
We put up our first wall,
Yeah.
a brick wall, but I mean not a big wall, just to close down a door that had access to the rest of the station. We had to close it down, and that was basically our first brick wall, which I don't know, it's not bad, I'd say, right?
No, it was exciting, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Afterwards,
We made the plasterboard structure.
Yeah.
We didn't close it up though. Yeah.
no, the plasterboard it still hasn't come, hasn't been put on yet. But at least we made the
The
structure.
structure.
So, well, the first one also.
Yeah.
Like really, this time it was like moment of a lot of first things, like first brick wall, first plasterboard structure wall. Yeah.
Let's just say we went back to tutorials quite a few times. And we learned a lot. We ended the summer by building our second wall. It was much taller than the first one, but it was also to close an old doorway.
That was the moment that the place really, well, finally started to look a bit like a
Like a
like a
house.
real home taking place.
Yeah.
Although there's still a lot of work ahead, as you will see. The hardest part yet was breaking the concrete floor. So we mentioned previously, we had to lift up the tiles on this section that was going to be the rooms, but there was significant difference between the wooden flooring area and the area that had the tiles, which was quite a bit higher. That meant breaking the concrete with an electric hammer, which was really intense, really tiring. I mean, hours of drilling, dust
It
everywhere.
was physically exhausting and even more mentally exhausting because of the noise, like just constant noise.
It was slow progress, but I mean, every little bit of progress kept us going. clasificar las varillas. 1,30 o 1,50. Y de 2.
And that's the story of our first year renovating Burton's Gare.
We still have a long way to go, but we're really excited to really start sharing this journey with all of you. All of it. I mean, the slow or sometimes faster progress, the challenges that we may encounter, and everything in between. I mean, of the life here, what it means to us. We're really happy to share it with you.
So, life at La Gare is about the process, the everyday moments that come by living up here in the mountains.
Yeah, we still don't have a really defined plan, neither a specific style for the house or for the videos. I mean, we're just letting it all naturally take shape.
Yeah. So thank you for being here.
And we'll see you in the next video.